What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Gaetano from Nextiva. How you doing today? I'm joined with a very awesome guest who is going to take you guys through everything you need to know about how to choose the right communication system for your business. Her name is Jillian, and I would like to welcome you all to Jillian. So, Jillian, how you doing today? And welcome to the webinar. Thanks for joining.
Hey guys, having me. I appreciate it. I am good. I'm excited to get this moving and to help out. Thanks for having me.
All right, awesome. So just a couple of housekeeping items. We are recording this webinar, so you are going to get everything in a follow-up email automatically sent to you. So don't worry if you got to drop off or anything like that. You're going to get all the goodies, so nothing to worry about there. If you ever have a question throughout this webinar at any point, you can ask a question. There should be a button at the bottom that says ask a question. Feel free to do that there. If you want to just use the chat sidebar, feel free to do that. We can communicate in real time. So if you have a question for Jillian or myself, or you just want to say hi or anything, feel free to do that in the side chat bar. You'll be able to do that, and you can engage with us. Also, if you're feeling real brave, we can invite you up onto the screen and have some discussion with you there. There is the capability for me to call you, and you can join the screen with us and become part of the party, so to speak. So I see we've got some live attendees right now. I see Carolyn Korn. How you doing? Welcome to the webinar. Charles Thompson, Chris Tidball, John Carter, Aaron, Dan Coney, Eduardo Duque, and Jeremy. So welcome everyone. Thank you again for joining. And we're really excited to kick this off. So pretty much the point of this whole webinar is to show you everything there is to know about choosing the right communications solution for your business, all the things that go into it, all the nuts and bolts. And hopefully by the end of this, you'll be well-informed, well-educated, and you'll be able to make the right decision for your business. And then, our goal is to, enable you to grow fearlessly. You shouldn't have to worry about this stuff as you're trying to grow your business, get new customers, retain existing customers, drive more revenue, all these sorts of things. We want to be able to enable you to do that stuff fearlessly. So without further ado, I'm going to share the presentation and let Jillian take it away. And if there are any questions throughout the webinar, if you have anything that you want to say, just feel free to pop it into the side panel there. So I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint. We're going to get rocking and rolling. So let's do it. All right, cool. All right. So Jillian, how's that looking from a screen sharing perspective? Looking okay?
Looks good.
All right, cool. Okay. So yeah, Jillian, take it away.
Let's talk about it. Cool. So today, let's talk about a few things, guys. We'll of course talk about how to or how a phone system can help grow your business. We'll talk about the disadvantages and some advantages of VoIP, why, what matters the most in a phone system, and then we can talk maybe, even about some vendors, and of course, any final takeaways. But we want this to be as open of a discussion as possible, so please feel free to join in. Any questions, comments that you guys have. I've actually been with Nextiva in our in the VoIP industry for the last 5 years. So definitely happy to help.
Yeah, Jillian, you're an OG in the game. You know this stuff inside and out. Our audience is really lucky today to have somebody as knowledgeable as you are, kind of breaking things down. So this is going to be good.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited.
All right.
I'm excited. Okay.
So let's get into best practices for growing your business. So I guess we wanted to kind of point this out in the beginning because, sure, we could get into all of that VoIP technical mumbo jumbo, but at the end of the day, small business owners, people who are at small businesses, any business really, are looking to get actionable and tactical tips on how to actually grow their business. So Jillian, why don't you get into it and break it down for us?
Absolutely. So here's the thing: when you have, or when you start a business, if you've had a business for a long time, you have to have a way to communicate with your customers, of course. So when you're choosing a phone solution, you have the option to choose between an on-premise system, so analog, or hosting even your own server on site. you can do that, which is not a very cost-effective way. You have a lot of large upfront investments. It's not as reliable. It's extremely time-consuming as well because you have to maintain the server.
Right.
Nextiva
So these are not internet-based systems at all. These are
correct.
like wires and, in-depth sort of installations. You need a technician on site to get all this stuff set up. Is that right?
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Right.
Now,
right.
the other option you have is to purchase to sign on with a VoIP solution. So a cloud hosted solution that instead of hosting that server on site, we take that server, we put that in the cloud.
Right.
It is definitely a much more cost effective way because you don't have to maintain that server, nor do you have to have anybody on site to do anything, on the fly. There's always support with a cloud-based system that you can always just call through a phone number.
Right. And if you're like a small business, let's say you're like, maybe 10, 20 employees, it might seem like, yeah, it's not a big deal to have a technician come and install all these wires and stuff and go with like a traditional service. But you got to think about it. As your business grows, let's say you're at 100 employees. Oh, then what do you got to do? You got to have that technician keep coming back and installing more phones and more wires and more stuff. And it's not a real scalable way to grow.
Exactly. And even some servers run out of storage. So if you do plan on growing, you want a system that will grow with you. And a cloud-based system is really the way to be able to do that extremely effectively and quickly. You can absolutely scale quickly with a cloud-based solution.
Right. So how do you save time and look bigger and how is it easier to reach with your customers and even your employees? Like how does VoIP do all that?
So VoIP is an extremely seamless solution. So you can use multiple devices. You're always available on the go. You can be mobile with it. So I always like to use the example that if you are starting a business and you need to be able to get to any customer that comes your way, because of course every customer is gold, and especially when you're first starting, you want to make sure that your response time is quick and that you're knocking your competitors out of the park, right? So this is a solution that, again, you can access from anywhere. You can use the mobile app on your cell phone and really get to your clients as quick as you need, which of course, helps you lock in that relationship.
Right. And I want to point out something too, like, look bigger, look more professional than you really are. So if you're like a 5-person, 10-person, let's say flower shop or, laundromat or even an insurance company or something like that, and you're just getting started off, or you just don't have plans to maybe even grow, you just want to stay at that size, something like a VoIP solution can make you look a lot more professional than you are. With the auto attendant, the hold music, you can get directed to all these different points in the business while you're on hold and stuff. Like how does all that work?
I'm so sorry, you kind of cut out there. Will you say that last piece one more time?
Yeah. So how does it work with like the auto attendant and the hold music? Like, why would that be important to like, say, like a small business? Like, how could they look bigger than what they really are by leveraging something like that?
Absolutely. So I actually like to use an example of a customer that I have worked with for literally the past 5 years now. And when he started, very small business, it was just him. And a lot of small companies like to advertise multiple phone numbers. So he was advertising multiple phone numbers. And although it was just him, we had all these phone numbers routing to an auto attendant, to a recorded greeting. And although he was the only one answering those calls, he had a larger appearance because when you call in, it'll greet that caller, say, hey, for example, for sales, press 1, for support, press 2. And no matter what selection they chose, it's still going to that same person, but you definitely appear more professional. You definitely appear more organized, and as just a more solid business rather than just a straight live answer.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then that mobile app stuff is great. Like everybody's got a smartphone nowadays. And I guess that's the other beauty of VoIP. Like you don't, like in the old days, you had to be at your desk waiting for that business phone to ring. And then let's say, you leave the office, you're not really going to get any of those calls or communications. Nowadays with a mobile app, you can run the entire business right from your smartphone. So, I mean, have you seen a lot of examples of business owners like being on the road, traveling, getting stuff done with their app? Like, have you seen that a lot?
All the time, all the time. There is
Mm-hmm.
not a conversation that I have where that doesn't come up, and that is the world that we live in now. So
Yeah.
it truly, I mean, you want to stay connected to your customers. They're your livelihood, right? So absolutely. And mobile app is a huge benefit to a cloud-based system because you truly can be available at any time. Additionally, you
Mm-hmm.
can also check on what's going on in your business. So if I have
Mm-hmm.
multiple employees that are also using the app, or even a desk phone or a phone on my computer screen, I can log into my app at any time and check their availability in real time. I can chat with them
Mm-hmm.
and say, hey, this person just called me directly. Well, do you mind following up with them really quick? I'm swamped right now. Or I can set
Mm-hmm.
availability in real time and know what's going on. So the app is a huge benefit to any business of truly any size, for so many different reasons.
Yeah, that's major.
Yeah,
That's huge.
absolutely. It's huge.
I love that. Cool. So let's get into some of the advantages and disadvantages of VoIP, how it all works. So I already talked about lower costs and increased accessibility. Here's one that I'm wondering about: portability. So I guess that means you can take, like, let's say your local landline number and port that over to VoIP. How does that all work?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we will, of course, we always want to be thorough and check that the numbers are portable. But you can absolutely bring, numbers that you've had for 10, 20 years, or brand new numbers that you even just got over to a cloud-based system, and keep using those numbers so that you don't have to advertise any different numbers or change that or risk losing customers. But we definitely ensure a very smooth transition to a cloud-based system, without any downtime or losing your numbers. But we definitely, support you through that.
Right. And then, another thing that kind of stands out on the advantages side is something called soft phones. So
Mm-hmm.
I know that there are people out there that are VoIP subscribers that basically run their business from their laptop computer. So let's
Yeah.
say I have a Mac, I don't necessarily want a big clunky phone or on my desk. You know what I mean? I like having a
Yeah.
nice, clean workspace, no clutter. How does a soft phone work?
Absolutely. So it's exactly how it sounds. It's a software-based phone. So you can
Right.
download this and literally work from anywhere, from a Starbucks where you just connected to the Wi-Fi. You can work from home. You can work wherever you need to, the airport, while you're on the go, and have a
Mm-hmm.
full functioning phone without having a physical desk phone. So it allows you to be mobile and get to your customers at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to the mobile app, the data all runs seamless. So anything that I do on my soft phone, on my desk phone, on my app, all of that data is going to show throughout all of my devices.
I love it.
Me
And
too. Amazing.
I'm a VoIP user, and I like multitasking. So while
Yes.
while I'm on the phone with someone with my headphones on, I'm speaking right into my laptop audio through my VoIP soft phone. I'm also doing things like, looking up their account. I'm checking emails. I'm, doing this, I'm doing that. My
Yeah.
hands are, but my hands are available because I don't need to actually touch a phone and pick it up and hold it. It's all going through the app on the desktop, through the software. So I think that's pretty damn cool.
Me too. Me too. It is amazing. It has actually changed the way that even I personally do business. I'm available way more than I ever have been because of the
Right.
soft phone and because of the app. And because of that, I've had some amazing opportunities overall, just because I've been available for them. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
huge benefit to every business.
Right. That's so awesome. Let's keep this rolling. So there are some disadvantages to VoIP. There aren't many. We don't want to paint a picture here like it's all, riding off into the sunset on a white horse and everything. But there are a couple of things you got to be aware of. So I mean, the most important ones seem like they're internet connectivity related. So maybe you could break down like how this all works and what kind of like internet connectivity, like bandwidth, you need in order to have VoIP performing at a high level for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's interesting that the 2 points that we have on the screen here, the reliable internet connection and the possible jitter and latency, these go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you said, it's cloud-based and VoIP is not perfect, but it is definitely a reliable solution as long as your internet can match it. So per device, we actually only require 0.1 megabytes on your upload side. So that
Oh,
means
it's tiny.
yeah, it's so small. So if you have
Yeah.
10 phones, that's only 1 meg. So you really
Yeah.
don't need a crazy amount of bandwidth, but you do need a sufficient bandwidth to give you the quality that you need, because we can provide an amazing solution overall, right? We can provide the most reliable data centers and network, but if your internet doesn't match that, then you're probably not going to have the best experience. So you always want to make sure that you do have a good internet connection. I always strongly recommend fiber if you can, or if you do have that available in your area. Otherwise, of course, the major ISPs out there, definitely provide a bandwidth that's sufficient for a VoIP system, but it's always just that 0.1 megabytes per device so that you don't have the jitter or latency issues that you see with the lack of internet connection.
Right. That's legit. By the way, can you use VoIP with let's say LTE cell phone data? Is that a possibility as well?
So are you talking about a soft or a hotspot, or more of using my cell phone data?
Yeah, let's say I have the mobile app on my phone, but I'm not connected to Wi-Fi, and I want to make a VoIP call using cell phone data. Is that a possibility?
Absolutely. So it will always search for a Wi-Fi connection that you're on first. If not, it will fall back on your data connection. Absolutely. Now it uses, I always like to say the app uses less data than what Facebook does. Usually that resonates pretty well. So it's definitely a small amount. I have been using the VoIP, the Nextiva mobile app for years and years, and I have never had a change in my data plan.
That's great. Cool. Let's keep the show on the road. So kind of to recap what we just went over real quick is a bit of a side-by-side comparison table here with the pros and cons. It kind of just goes through everything we just went to. So for everyone on the webinar, you're going to get a follow-up email with the recording and the content. You'll be able to refer back to this as a quick reference if you need it. So we just wanted to put this together for you in a nifty little side-by-side chart here so you can refer back to it whenever you need to. So so we already talked about that. Now let's get into this. What matters most in a phone system? I think people are really wondering about this as they're going about making their decision on what type of phone system to get, how many lines do I need, what do I need to consider, et cetera, et cetera. I think it would be really helpful to get into all this stuff. So let's go into some of this. So we already mentioned cost, reliability, mobility, scalability, but I think security and features is something we may not have hit on yet. So let's maybe talk about security and then features. One I'm really interested to hear more about is text messaging. So maybe we can break this down.
Sure. So we do offer SMS, and you can actually text from your business number. And I personally prefer texting because a lot of the times I'm on the phone all day. So if I can do business with companies that text, I'm more likely going to sign with them. Simply because that's just more convenient. So SMS has been a huge game changer in the business because it is a quick way to reach people where, I'm in a meeting, but I do have my cell phone like we all do, and I am available via text message if you need something right now. But yeah, absolutely. I love texting through my app. It's so easy. It's so user friendly, and it really allows me to stay in touch however I need to, whenever I need to.
That's great. So let's say I have some customers that I want to just send a text message to.
Sure.
Maybe it's a promotion, maybe it's a special offer, maybe it's just a check-in to see how they're doing. Can I do that right from my VoIP app? Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You literally just pull that contact up, send them a text like you would anybody else on your regular cell phone. It's just through an app, and it's for your business. Right.
And it comes from my business number.
100%.
Wow. See, so I guess the beauty of that is let's say I started up a local business or something like that, and customers are asking me for my contact number, and I give out my first, couple of customers my phone number, my personal number. Okay. Then I realize, oh man, I don't know about this. Now I got now I got customers text messaging me while I'm home with my wife and stuff. What's going on here? So I guess the benefit is you have that buffer between you and the customers. You kind of keep that work-life balance separate, but you could still keep it professional and text them from your business number, keep it kind of on that personal level, but do you get that buffer because it's coming from the business phone number and not your personal number?
Absolutely, 100%. And even it's as simple as logging out of your app on your cell phone if you don't want to be involved with your work life at that time. So you literally just log out. When you log back in, everything is there waiting for you to pick back up.
Right. And I guess like on any smartphone application now, you can do things like mute your push notifications from the app. So if you don't want, to get blown up, you can mute all that stuff. Is that right?
Absolutely. Do not disturb.
Mhm.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. That's great. So I guess like when it comes to evaluating vendors, I mean, there's a bunch of them out there. We already know
Yes,
what it's like, but like it can be overwhelming. You search
of
online for
course.
business phone service. You look on all these companies and you try to figure out like who's the best one for me. A lot of them are kind of preaching the same songs. How do you
Yes.
break it down? Like how do you actually go through all this stuff? Like how do you approach it?
Absolutely. So the proof is in the pudding, right? It's
Yeah.
do your research. There's so many review sites out there. Gartner, Get VoIP. They're some of the most credible resources
Hmm.
and review sites that we do know of in the cloud-based in the VoIP industry as a whole. So
Hmm.
these reviews are out here to provide just transparent reviews from customers of, hey, this is my experience, this is what happened,
Hmm.
and you can now make your decision based on what's happened in other scenarios. So I always recommend do your homework, look at reviews, check triple B accreditations, and see what that rating actually is, because they always, they're always accurate, they're always very true, and they do say a lot about a company. So you always want to partner with a VoIP company that is well known, that definitely is a credible company, because there's so many different options out there,
Hmm.
and if you don't know what you're looking for, you might not be getting the solution that you actually need.
Right.
So you definitely want to make sure that if you do have a plan to scale and change your business and move it in a certain direction, that you're considering that with your cloud-based solution, because you want a system that grows with you and that gives you what you need, and you don't want to be doing this another 2-3 years down the road. This is a solution that should grow with you and your business for the life of your business.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that. And I also think like you gotta see like what things about a company's message resonate most with you.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
like is amazing customer service, for example, a top priority for you? Like, are you worried that like if you get stuck, if I call this company, are they going to be able to help me and help me fast and help me accurately? Just
Yes,
saying, Nextiva, we trademarked amazing service for a reason, because that's part of our, it's part of our blood, part of our DNA. So, we really pride ourselves pretty heavy on amazing service. That's no surprise.
absolutely.
Um, but other companies may push other things like, promos and low price and all these sorts of things. So you gotta weigh the pros and cons, but there are ways to have it all. So we can talk more about that. But
Of course.
Like Jillian said, check incredible customer review sources. Gartner and Get VoIP, I think, are some of the top review sources out there from verified users. This happens to be a screenshot from Get VoIP on Nextiva reviews, and we're really proud to say that we're a 4.5 out of 5 overall. We're one of the highest, if not the highest rated VoIP solution out there. We're 83% recommended. We have a lot of just phenomenal feedback from customers, not only about our products and services, but about the way that we actually go about treating our customers and employees. We have a phenomenal internal culture as well, which is always nice. And
Yes,
we really take a lot of pride in that. Um,
absolutely.
you also mentioned review the vendor's social media pages. So what's your take on this? Like, is this like a huge step? I personally think it is, but what's your take on it, Jillian?
I love it. I completely agree. And I think, even aside from a cloud-based solution, whenever we are buying anything, we're looking at reviews, we're looking at your Facebook, we're looking at
Right.
social media. We want to know the kind of companies that we're doing business with.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm relying my business communications on a company that I don't totally see eye to eye with, that's not the ideal company for me. So we always want to make sure that we're checking the review sites, but social media is the window right into seeing what goes on every single day
Mm-hmm.
with a company. And Nextiva is so transparent about our amazing service and how we support our customers, and even the fun new clients that we onboard that that have crazy crazy scenarios, like the Buffalo Sabres. That is an amazing partner that we have now,
Yeah,
and we post about it and we talk about it, and so we want to make sure that it's just everyone's aware that we're supporting them and we're
exactly.
supporting each company we do have.
Exactly. Yeah. And like you said, it's look, the day and age we live in now, you can see what a company's about just by browsing through their LinkedIn, their Facebook, their Twitter, any channel you want to go on and look at. If company XYZ, let's say, hasn't posted anything in like 6 months, and like it just seems like they're stagnating and they're a bit of a ghost on social media. It's like, all right, so they must not care much about the voice of their brand, the voice of the customers, because they're kind of falling asleep at the wheel. We're pretty proud to say, like you said, Buffalo Sabres is one of our top partners. We supply all the phone systems throughout their arena, and they're a great partner for us. So we like to brag a little bit about it, but hey, that's what happens when you start building up more and more credibility, and you start getting the ability to land partners like the Buffalo Sabres. It's pretty cool. So
Absolutely.
Another thing we talked about too, which is cool, is the scalability. Find a service that fits your strategy. So these are some of the benefits that you would get with Nextiva, for example. But the main question is like, do the benefits that this company is offering me align back to my business goals? How do you kind of go about this whole process of just figuring out like, all right, are they the right fit for me? How do you go about doing that?
So whenever you're looking for a new communication solution for your business, you want to have a very clear understanding of where you want to take your business. And we can now bring in, this is how the solution will help you get there. But you need to have a clear understanding of how many, for example, what you want to market and to who, and how many phone numbers do I want to advertise, and what kind of results am I looking for through my advertising? We can definitely track we can actually analyze, all the phone numbers that you're advertising, and show you the data of who's calling it the most at what times. You have hourly averages, and we can definitely track what's going on with that. But you can act accordingly based on the data that we apply, or that we supply to you, and then make any adjustments that you need. But you should always have a very clear view of what is going on in your business, where you want to be, and what kind of solution you need to get you there. Now, a cloud solution is amazing for this. And Nextiva, I mean, we have so many great consultants that will really take you through step by step of where you want to be, and how we can help you get there.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the one thing I'm thinking about too is things like, I love this feature. It's voicemail to text. So, I don't have to sit and listen to a 1 minute long voicemail that some customer left me. I can just I can read it. Oh, I can scan through it. Okay, I know what this is about. I don't have to sit and listen to this, save time, respond right away. Like that to me is brilliant. And I really love stuff like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's invaluable for sure. I actually love it too. I love the voicemail to email even as well. You can truly be accessible anywhere, but there's so many features that we have. I personally love Nextiva Analytics. I think it's an incredible product from businesses, from a small one-man shop to thousands of employees. It gives you a very clear view of what's going on in your business and how you can act accordingly. But the cloud-based system overall in the Nextiva VoIP solution is really incredible, and I truly see and have dealt with it for so many years that I can say that it's second to none.
Yeah, it's a beast. I mean, it's just a flat out. It's a beast. I mean, the other thing too that I know some people might be wondering is like, as my business grows, I'm probably going to be getting more customers, and therefore I'm probably going to be getting more inbound call volume, and there's probably going to be an increase of outbound call volume as well. So am I going to get charged for more phone volume usage, or is it just unlimited, one flat, baked into the whole equation thing? Like, what's the deal with that? Like, I'm worried that if I start using too much, VoIP bandwidth with all my inbound and outbound calling, that, my bill might see a bit of a jacking. Like, what's the deal there?
Yeah, great question. So the nice thing about VoIP is that it's cloud-based. So it is unlimited calling. Specifically with Nextiva, I mean, it's anywhere in the U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico, completely unlimited, which is huge. I mean,
major.
Yeah, it's major. There were so many permanent rates, and you would have to worry about, if your business grows and if you're gaining more customers, how am I going to support a very large phone bill that's minute based? So with VoIP, it's definitely a different game now, where it's unlimited calling.
That's phenomenal. And just to recap, I can make any call that I want from my desktop app or my laptop app on my MacBook.
Yes,
Ooh,
absolutely.
I like that a
Most
lot.
definitely.
That's major.
Truly, anywhere you need to be.
Yeah. All right. So, we're just going to break it down for you guys. There's a whole bunch of vendors out there, a whole bunch of different review sources that you can check. Nextiva happens to be number one in all of these categories across the board. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, baby. Like you said, Jillian. I mean, this stuff is really impressive. We're really proud of this, and our customers are our biggest fans, our biggest supporters, because we go above and beyond. And some of the things that a lot of people don't know about me is my first job ever was at a telecoms company. I'm not going to mention their name, but I'm telling you, you call for support, you're waiting in queue for about 35, 45 minutes. You may not always get to the right person. You might have to get rerouted. It's confusion. The beauty about Nextiva is your calls are getting answered fast. We're responding pretty much all the time. And you're going to get that
answer of 90 seconds.
90 seconds. So, I mean,
90 seconds. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's unheard of in our industry. And that's kind of part of the mission behind Nextiva too, is that we were founded based on the idea that customers and even employees of companies in the telecom industry shouldn't be, subject to the status quo. We basically had the idea to break the mold by focusing on great service. Not as you heard, 90-second duration wait time for when you call in for support. So that's pretty cool. And you can see all these great sources giving us really a lot of kudos, and it's our customers doing it. You see G2 Crowd, Top 10 VoIP, Gartner Peer Insights, Software Advice, Better Business Bureau, 8+ there, Capterra, Comparably, Down Detector. By the way, we're the only service solution in comms that had 0 reported outages in 2018. I'm not sure if the people on the webinar knew that, but that is true. So let's maybe open it up for some questions. There's Jillian's contact info if anyone's interested, and maybe let's open up the floor for a little bit of a discussion on some of this stuff if there are any. It looks like Carolyn and Aaron may have had a question. It looks like Carolyn says, what is the maybe Carolyn, cost per phone, monthly per phone price, taxes and surcharges, all these sorts of things. I don't know, Jillian, do you want to maybe tackle this, or should we invite Carolyn onto the webinar and have her come on up? Carolyn, how do you feel about that if we call you into the screen and we invite you up? Is that cool? Maybe just send
Carolyn, come on.
Put a yes or no in the chat bar. All right, she's
no.
She's maybe not cool with that. So I don't know, Jillian, maybe you can just address it then. What's your take on this?
So a lot of these questions are actually going to be they're more specific to Carolyn, to your business. So I definitely would want to take some time with you and tailor a solution to you. Even just knocking out, the one of the standard question, are there taxes and surcharges? So the only taxes that you see or that you're going to pay are very transparent. They're on your quote. They're not fees from Nextiva. They're just straight taxes. The rule of thumb is $10 to $15 per line in taxes. So you just want to keep that in mind. Now the cost to purchase a phone, we actually, in Nextiva specifically, we have so many different ways to provide physical devices to you at a very cost-effective rate. So we can definitely look at that and see exactly what you're looking for. But the phones, there's so many different options that we want to make sure whatever phone that you end up using is a phone that fits your needs. So, ranging from Polycom, Cisco, VTech, we definitely have so many different options that we can fit. There is a monthly per phone rate, and I actually like to compare that to a signal rather than a user even. So each employee or each person that you have needs a signal going to them, which is a line, right? However, that signal, I only need one per user, and I can have as many devices as I need to. So, for example, I have my one signal, but I only have I have my app, my soft phone, and my desk phone, all using that one signal at any given time.
That's sweet.
And again, Carolyn, more than happy, Carolyn, to take time with you and definitely figure out exactly what you're looking for. Your current.
Looks like we lost Jillian for a second. I'm going to call her back on. Sorry about that, Jillian.
Hi.
Sorry about that. We lost you for a second.
Sorry, it might have been me.
It's all good. So awesome. Thanks, Carolyn. We really appreciate that. So does anyone want to come up onto the screen and just talk about their business? Not really anything related to phone service. We just want to get to know you. Maybe just say hi, talk about whatever you want. Any brave souls out there want to come up? Let's see who we've got left on this webinar list. So we've got Evan, we've got Brian, we've got Carolyn. Hey, Carolyn, we just answered your question. I hope it was a good answer. Chris Tidball, John Carter, Alejandro, Shripford, Dan Coney, Eduardo. Anybody want to come up and just talk about their business or just to say hello? Any
come
takers?
on up, guys.
Come on up. Don't be shy. We just want to say hello and just talk a little bit about what kind of business you're in, what you're doing day in and day out, how we can potentially aid you in some other things. By the way, I'm part of the marketing team at Nextiva. So if you have any questions about marketing, I'm happy to give some free advice at this point. You want to learn how to get more traffic to your website, whatever it is. I mean, Jillian's fantastic in the customer support and sales arena. So if you have any questions about that area of your business, we can give you some free advice there. Any takers at all? Looks like we may have some shy guests today. That's all right.
That's all right.
But yeah, so if you guys change your mind, it's all good. You can hit up Jillian directly. So Jillian, how can they reach out to you if they want to learn more about pretty much anything? How can they hit you up?
Absolutely. Phone, email. You can text me, of course. My number, I know that Gaetano had it up on the screen, and it's more than likely going to be in that follow-up email as well. You're more than welcome to reach out to me whichever way is convenient for you. The nice thing is about Nextiva, you can reach us at any time in any way. So again, text, phone, email, whatever is convenient for you. I'm more than happy to help out, and we can definitely tailor a solution to your business.
Awesome. So Jillian, what's your number where they can reach you? I'm going to type it into the chat bar there just in case anyone wants to hit you up.
Sure. Direct line is 480-725-9538.
All right, awesome. So I added it to the chat there. If anyone wants to call Jillian, you could do that. Yeah, if you want to email me, I'm going to type my email into the chat there. It's Gaetano@nextiva.com. And Jillian, you are JILLIAN.RITIVOY@nextiva.com.
That is correct.
All right, so you guys will get all that info. And yeah, this has been really cool. This has been great. I hope we've delivered a lot of value for everyone on the webinar today. We're about 40 minutes in, and I think it's been action-packed with a lot of cool takeaways and top tips. So thanks again for joining, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.